Hey folks, it's man once again coming at you with another review of a film I just saw very recently. It's a film that came out this year called NonStop, starring Liam Neeson. You got Julianne Moore. It's directed by Jaume Collet-Serra. Not sure if I pronounced it right. This is a guy who directed House of Wax remake, which I really enjoyed, Orphan, which I liked, Unknown with Liam Neeson, which I really didn't care for. This film. What's this one? And he's doing another film called Run All Night. Okay. This film, Nonstop, I remember seeing the trailer to it and being intrigued by the film. Uh, One thing right off the bat, people have to know is that Nonstop is not an action film. Some of the marketing maybe made you believe it's an action film. It's not an action film at all. I thought it wasn't an action film, and it's not. I knew that going in. Even says here it's a mystery thriller, and that's perfectly what it is. It's a mystery thriller, which I know some people are mad about that. I'm not, because doing an action film on a plane won't really work. Passenger 57, I like Passenger. Well, I when I first saw Passenger 57, I didn't like it. That grew on me. So I liked it, but it grew on me. But even Passenger 57, you have a little bit on the plane, but then yeah, they have to land the plane, and then what he starts dealing with those security guys, then he's chasing the bad guys to that fair, that carnival thing, and he's dealing with that stuff. So even that movie was like, okay, we can't have it all on the plane. Executive Decision was fucking boring. I don't like Executive Decision. Before or after Seagal flew out of the plane. I didn't like his decision. I thought that was that was a bore fest for me. Turbulence, once again, I like the trailer of Turbulence with the White Zombie song. More human than human. The trailer's better than the movie because Turbulence sucks as a movie. It's got some good effects with the plane sequences, but that's it. Definitely didn't. I especially didn't like the lead girl in the film Turbulence. Um, So a lot of plane type films, you're limited to what you can do because there's only so much you can do. There's only so much space. It's only so much that you can punch someone, or you can't do much on a plane for an action film. But for a mystery thriller, you can do some stuff. And to be honest, this remind me, like, instead of thinking of this more as Taken, think of it more as like Flight Plan with Jodie Foster, which I remember I saw that film in the theater back in the day and thought it was okay. I say I like this film much more than Flight Plan because Liam Neeson. It seems like most of Flight Plan, Jodie Foster, I don't know why I see more of a victim, just being told what to do, or even though she's trying, but sit down, do this, do that. It was like she couldn't really fight much. But Liam Neeson, even at least he has a presence. Like he keeps getting odds stacked against him, but he's still gonna try to get the situation under his control. This is probably going to be a shorter review than usual because I'm not going to give too much spoilers. I mean, this is a film I liked so much. What's funny is I know my friend Mike, OCP Communications. He's not a big fan of the movie. I know he hated the film. He's like, well, it's okay. It's not horrible, but he's not a fan. He's not really a big fan of the movie. Um, and then I was the opposite. I'm actually a pretty big fan of the movie. So take this with a grain of salt. Like my friend Effrey, who's one of the three crazy guys. I don't know. Mike is not a big fan. I am a big fan. It could go either way for you. So take it with a big grain of salt. But I really enjoyed it. I thought this was Liam Neeson's best film since Taken. Is it better than Taken? No. But I thought it was his best film since Taken. I thought it was much better than Unknown. I thought it was much better than Taken 2. I thought it was better than. Definitely thought it was better than The Gray. I'm not a big fan of The Gray because The Gray doesn't have an ending. It has pretentious shit that wants to think it's an ending, which I know a lot of people liked. I didn't. I didn't like the direction it went. It's a survival movie where no one fucking survives. And this pretentious bullshit of, oh, but he fought, even though he's going to die, but he's on his legs. Great. When he gets him eaten off along with his balls, then yay, he got his balls eaten by a wolf, and his dick is in his wolf's throat. But yay, he fought it. Sorry, I don't buy that bullshit. If you do, that's fine. I don't. Um, but NonStop, I just enjoyed as a mystery thriller. I thought it was well directed. I thought that Liam Neeson did a really good job. Really liked his character. He's a federal air marshal, and you really liked his character. He had a daughter who died from cancer when she was 8. His wife divorced him. He lost his job as a cop, so in order to still work somewhere in that, even though he's not a big fan of planes, he becomes a federal air marshal. And it's weird the way this starts off. Kind of almost starts off like The Gray, which I liked how it started off with him sitting and not suicidal, but looking at a picture, whether his wife in The Gray or here is his daughter, which I like that. But here I thought it handled that better. Just not everyone fucking dies, uh, and shit. So I like the character. And I thought Liam Neeson had some really good moments, like when he's telling people what happened, and he's because they're trying to fight him off, and he's yelling, "He's like, you gotta trust me." Yeah, you're right. I'm not a great guy, but I do want to save the people on this plane. Like he's a guy you can easily like. Julianne Moore does a good job as well. Like I know she has a good moment where she's suspected, and she talks about she has a scar here, and why she did certain things is because she shows him the scar, and that she had been dead for this amount of time, and she wants to enjoy life. And it sounds cornier than it is. Let me see. It sounds corny the way I explain it, but she has a good little scene there, and I thought she did good in the film. I like the way the film's lit. The light in the plane, I swear, has sometimes bluish lighting, and like when it's in the night. I usually say nighttime in the dark when people are trying to sleep, and then I just like the way the plane was lit. It gave a good atmosphere for a mystery thriller, kind of like one of those old classic mysteries where people are in a house. Is like, who is the killer? Like a just more serious version of Clue or something. But I was fine with that because it's been a while since I've seen, in my opinion, a good mystery movie. And I know people don't like this film for two reasons. They think it's boring because it's not an action film, which, the trailer probably, I would say probably in the trailer you saw all of the action or most of the action, but knowing that, I still really liked it. I liked the story it was telling. I thought the premise was really intriguing because he gets this text. I like the way they do it. Like what they show in the trailer, that is how they do it in the film. When he looks at it and you see the text pop up on screen, and the way they do that, like you even have a moment where he's looking, the camera's going in a circle around him. You see the text just appearing, what he's writing. I like the way that was handled. Like the way that was done. I thought that was a visually appealing way of doing it. I thought the score fit the film. John Ottman, who did the music, I thought he did a good job with the score. It fit the film well. But again, I know people don't like the film either because it's boring or because they thought the plot got ludicrous and silly, as they say in Spaceballs, ludicrous speed. that didn't bother me. Maybe because if I enjoy the film, if I'm along for the ride, if not all the, I could handle it. I could handle it. Maybe I'll put like, spoilers. Like, okay, from here on, spoilers if you don't want to listen. But before I do that, I enjoy Liam Neeson. I thought the rest of the cast did fine. Julianne Moore and the rest of the cast did fine. Um, I didn't know who was doing it. Maybe people will be smarter than me, but I didn't know who was doing it. I thought it was a mystery that kept me interested. Just how everything keeps getting stacked up against Liam Neeson. People think he's a terrorist. People it's like he has a checking account, but it's for some reason under his name. Um, then this guy who I guess I'm getting the spoilers. Anyway, some other stuff happens, and just the way it keeps getting stacked against him, but he's not going to be a victim. He's going to try to handle as best as he can. You kind of feel like he's an underdog in this situation, and again, I like the way it was shot. It was handled on the plane. I liked how the mystery unraveled. Uh, and then the little bit of action you saw at the end. That's if I have a problem with the film, ease up on the shaky cam a bit. Ease up on the shaky cam. I keep saying this, but nothing can be worse than fucking Taken Two. Nothing can be worse than Taken Two's fucking editing and shaky cam. Nothing can be worse than that. I don't know if it's shaky cam or editing. Whether Taken Two is a much worse film. But again, this is a mystery thriller that I thought handled better. That I thought it did a better job of it than Flight Plan. Uh, really like the character of the film. I like the premise of the film. Again, he gets a text that unless he gets this money, someone will die every 20 minutes. And I just thought it was handled well. The film went at a decent pace for me. I thought, again, the cast did well, especially Liam Neeson. He did a really great job. The mystery was interesting to me. But again, I know a lot of critics didn't like it because they thought it was a poorly conceived story that hinges on a thoroughly unbelievable final act. That really didn't bother me too much, to be honest. It didn't. You're an idiot. Oh well, I had fun being an idiot. But yeah, if you don't want to think it's an action film, you're gonna be really disappointed. But I'm not gonna be one of those old recommended because you make up your own mind. That's what you do. I just say whether I like it or not. You make your own mind up. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you do like it, that's cool too. But again, I thought the direction was solid. I liked the way the lighting in the plane was and the way some of the stuff was done, like the text, seeing it in the air. It just visually appealing to me. I thought it was an interesting mystery with a really cool premise. I thought Liam Neeson handled it very well. You get little bits of action, which I was fine with. And overall, this is a film I would gladly get on DVD or Blu-ray. This is a film that I would gladly give a watch again. And yeah, either way, I liked the film. So I'm gonna go into spoilers. So here's the spoilers. The end of spoilers. What I was saying when the odds were getting stacked against Liam Neeson, I like the fact that again he gets a checking account number. Then he finds out, oh, it's under his name. He's like, what? His the other federal air marshal. You find out that that guy was like set up and he was doing this and that, and he was actually had a suitcase full of cocaine. So he tries to kill Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson has to fuck him up. Yeah. That's another thing stacked against him. Other stuff being, the captain gets killed. And he's like, how? He's in a, he's locked behind in the cockpit. And Liam Neeson's in the bathroom, sees like a little hole, and you realize that maybe it was a poison dart. Like he arrests a guy, they get him because he finds the phone with his text on it. Then that guy dies. It's like all these, then the back on land, people think that he's a terrorist, so it's broadcast on the TVs, and people think he's a terrorist. So I like that the odds keep getting stacked against him more and more as the film goes on. But again, Liam Neeson is fucking Liam Neeson. Even when the guys are trying to attack him, he's just beating them in the head and fucking them up, and I like that. He's not just gonna be a victim. But again, Liam Neeson does a really good acting job as well. And I know the plot at the third act people say is ludicrous. It didn't bother me. Just again, this is spoiler territory, so I warned you. This is spoiler territory right now. You find out it's two guys. You find out it's one is doing it for the money, and the other's doing it because of sort of mentioned 9/11, that his father or something was on the one of the planes, and he joined the military, but then he didn't believe in the war that he was fighting, and some type of plan for him that will get with a better security. The security would be even more improved because, like, you're an alcoholic and you're this and that, and pretty much, I guess, saying that Liam Neeson sucks at his job. That's why he chose him, because he was an alcoholic and he was a cop and he became an air marshal, and that's why he chose him. Which again makes Liam Neeson more of an underdog for me. But for me, the guy's apeshit crazy, and people are like, well, if people go, well, his reasoning doesn't make sense. He's talking about 9/11, his dad died, and he's appalled by the lack of security on airports and planes. It doesn't make sense. I mean, yeah, of course it doesn't make sense, because he's crazy. I hate to bring this up, remember the Dark Knight shootings? What was his reasoning? I bet they don't make sense. Why? Because he's fucking crazy. He's murdering innocent people on a plane and ready to blow the plane up. He is crazy. That means he is not in his right mind. That doesn't mean his plan has to make 100% sense for his reason for doing it. He's doing it for that reason? Yeah, because he's crazy. People in real life do stupid shit because they're crazy. The reason, hell yeah, people who, what was it, Son of Sam? He killed people because a dog told him, apparently. So, I mean, I'm not going to buy, well, that's ludicrous. Well, of course, he's not. He's crazy. So that didn't bother me at all. Maybe if it was a really shitty film, it would bother me, but it didn't bother me here. Um, but he fights the guy off, and I do like the moment you see in the trailer, but I still like the way it's handled, where it's like slow-mo, guns flying back, Liam Neeson grabs it, boom, shoots the bad guy right in the head. And fights the other guy off and fucks him up. I didn't ease up on the shaky cam, though. Come on. The bomb gets placed at the rear of the plane, and baggage and shit in there, so that I can minimize it as much as possible. So they have, yes, of course, you have the cliche where you have to have a landing. But it's not like they did Liam Neeson has to fly the plane. No, they don't do that. The co-pilot does it. So, okay, they didn't do that. Liam Neeson has to learn how to fly it, blah, blah, blah. But, again, overall, I liked it. I liked the mystery. I liked the premise. I liked the way it was shot with the lighting and the visual touch with the text and stuff. I really like Liam Neeson's character. I thought the score was fine. The directing was fine. Again, the only little problems I have is, uh, well, I didn't. People out there, either you'll find it boring or you find it ludicrous. But for me, ease up a bit on the shaky cam with the little bits of action in there. But other than that, I thought it was a good mystery thriller. That was a pretty solid mystery thriller. That's just my opinion. Either way, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Later.